Thank you. I hope you are well. I'm adjusting this because I'm not the person that's going to talk today. Everyone will be speaking. I'm sure you know the height of everyone. I don't know how to adjust this. But thank you very much for inviting us. We often say that we regulate pesticides in partnership with you. So the word is partnership. I'm aware that in certain quarters, when we say we regulate pesticides in partnership with you, it seems as if we are captured by you. But the reality is that to ensure compliance, which that's what we'll be talking about today, is about us as the regulator together with you. So with that, we will then be sharing with you what we have in mind in ensuring that the industry, together with us, we can continue with the business that we're doing. So with that, I will request everyone to come and share with you what we have in mind around the topics that we have today. If somebody could assist me to adjust.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
All right. Good morning. Can you all hear me? I'm not going to use the Limpopo voice because I was only told on Monday that I am presenting, so I wasn't mentally prepared and the voice is not there. But Mr. Mzunga is sitting here, he will hear me. But can you all hear me? You can't? Yo, morning. All right. So today we are going to talk about compliance, and I am in agreement that compliance is partnership between you and us. We can only have some stuff in writing, but you have the duty to go out and see that everything is done correctly. So we will be in the legislation side and the regulatory, and we trust that you will go out there and use the product according to their labels and in order. So the title of this talk is Pesticide Compliance in Terms of Act 36 of 1947. Do we go forward? Okay. So on the presentation outline, I'll talk about government's responsibility, that's on us, the benefits of compliance, that's for us and you guys. And then we'll talk about manufacturing. This is where you don't comply. And labeling and packaging, you also don't comply. Pesticide sale and use, you are not complying at all. And then advertisement, you'll be surprised to see what's happening in social media and other social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and yeah, everything that we say in the regulations, you go out and do exactly what's different. So it's the government's duty that we have a regulatory framework so that we can manage the sale, use, availability, and distribution of pesticides. So to do this, we make sure that we have a regulatory framework in place. We have the recent regulations, we have the Act, and we have the pesticide management policy. All these three touches on compliance and how one needs to comply. And we also, in complying, we have to ensure that the pesticides are effective for the purpose that are claimed. And we also have to ensure that the pesticide residue content in foodstuff complies with the local and the exporting requirements. We also have to ensure that the disposal of pesticides and their empty container is in compliance with the NEMA Act. So we've taken note of CropLife and the PRO and them enforcing. So from our side, if you are not responsible, then we won't renew your products, we won't register your products, And we've seen that some companies are already including this in their dossier that yes, they are part of an active PRO and they are doing their bit in container management and disposal. So if you're not part of a PRO already, just know that when you put in a dossier, we are going to ask you for this. And if you don't have it, then we'll put it aside and continue working on other dossiers. So the benefits of compliance. This compliance allows us to ensure that we are using pesticides in a way that is safe for human health and the environment. That is our duty. This is why we keep reviewing pesticides if there's new data on human health and the environment. And if we find that indeed this product causes cancer, then we have to take it off the market, because it is our responsibility to see that, yes, the farmer has the pesticide, but the people are also protected and the environment is protected as well. So when we comply, we also attract investment into the agricultural sector. And if we attract investment, then we have new technology and new equipment to use, and in turn, food security is tackled. We also, if we comply, we also have access to trade and international markets. Say, Mancozeb is off the market. If we also take it off the market, then our products are taken into other countries. Whereas if we continue to use Mancozeb, then we cannot trade with other countries that do not allow Mancozeb. And in compliance, the use of pesticides will coexist with other interested parties. With regard to interested parties, we are talking about the activist. So if we comply, then we can keep the activist at bay. When they come for us, then we can tell them, but yes, we have restricted this product, they can only be used by PCOs, and then they keep a distance because we are complying. All right. So this is where we have the problem. Manufacturing establishment, sales, and packaging and labeling. So I think Stembiso is attending online. She's our inspector and she has been driving this very well. So it would have been nice if she was here, because she would give you feedback on what is happening, whether this case is at the police or it's already at court. And so if she's online, maybe she will give us some feedback on some of the cases. So when it comes to manufacturing, it is us and you. This is where the partnership comes in. You are in charge of the manufacturing establishment, and you know that the manufacturing establishment should be licensed. So recently, they went out to a warehouse which was not licensed, and it also didn't have the hazardous chemical license to store hazardous chemicals. So they were just storing chemicals, and the red label products were just kept out in bulk, but in the regulations or in the act, these should be locked away because they are red label. But if you go into a warehouse today, I'll just use any other company, Villa, UPL, if you go today, you are more likely to find a red label pesticide that is not locked away, or you find a warehouse with a car parked inside and the chemicals also in the warehouse. So this is what is happening in the manufacturing establishment. The other issue is that there are no measures to contain fire and spillage. We all know of a recent issue that happened during the riots, right? The UPL fire. We do know what happened. So each establishment must have measures to contain fire and spillage. This is you making sure that the products are safe for human and the environment. And also, if you're thinking clearly, you cannot have a manufacturing warehouse or something around a school or just so close to communities. So the location of the warehouse or the manufacturing establishment is also so important. So you also need to comply with the hazardous chemical agents. So if you're keeping these pesticides, then you need to have a license to have these pesticides in your warehouse. And one problem is that what you are manufacturing there is not what the registrar had approved. Like your formulated product is different from what's in the dossier. We had an issue with a biological product that was registered with us, but the production was a synthetic chemical and it was marketed as a biological product. So this is an offense. We cannot register a biological and then you go out and formulate a synthetic chemical and you market it as a biological and everybody's like, that is the best biological control agent. And in actuality, you are lying, right? Yeah. And then each manufacturing establishment should have a list and records of the pesticides that are there and in storage. Should something happen today, you should be able to give us that information. The quantity, the different fungicide, insecticide, and herbicide, that should be readily available. Okay. Then the labeling and packaging, another problem on its own. So you put in an application, we approve say suppression, then you go out and market and label it as control. Then you take it up to Messina, thinking that we will not see it. Believe you me, our inspectors are working. We picked up something in Messina because you thought, okay, Messina is too far, it's almost Zimbabwe, nobody's gonna go there. It's too hot, but yes, we picked it up. So the labeling and packaging is a serious issue. I don't want to say you lie on the labels, but you are not honest. So, yeah. So, your labels should be in terms of the globally harmonized systems of classifications of pesticides and chemicals. If your product is a skull and cross hands and crossbones, you have to put it there. Allow the person who wants to buy the pesticide to choose what they want to buy. So you need to be honest with your classification. We had an issue with, this big company, and it's always big companies. Small companies comply. They comply. So this big company has their label. They didn't have all the pictograms. So we went back to the old approved GHS label. And when we started talking to them, they're like, but no, we have a word of mouth agreement with our distributor that they are now responsible for everything. In fact, we are going to transfer this registration to them. So we are not responsible for this because we have a distributor. But a distributor is not responsible. If we pick up something today, we need to go to the registration holder. And them telling us that they have a word of mouth agreement with the distributor, that the distributor is now 100% in control, is out of the law because there was no transfer of registration that was done. So to us, the product still belongs to them, it's not well labeled, and when you talk to them, they are washing off their hands. Like, we don't talk to the distributor, we talk to the registration holder. So if you're messing up your labels and when we come to you, you're gonna say, no, you need to talk to the distributor. We don't do that. We talk to the registration holder. So the label should conform to the uses and claims approved by the registrar. So this is where you have suppression, control, and you change. And sometimes we ask you to amend the label during the evaluation process. You amend the label just for us, but you still keep the same claims that were rejected, and then you go and market. So now we are working closely with inspection services. If we pick up that you are not totally honest, we give them maybe 3 labels in sequential order, and then we allow them to go to the retailers and check all those labels. So it's us and them trying to make sure that you do the right thing that you were supposed to do in the first place. And then packaging and repackaging must be carried out in licensed premises. I am sure you do know of this, but we received an email not so long ago, I think 2 weeks ago. There was a lady who wrote to us through another professor at the University of Cape Town. So they are in a shopping complex, and in one of the units, they are claiming that they are producing detergents, cleaning detergents. but they are also producing pesticides. They are repackaging dichlorophos into small bottles. And the other units picked it up because of the smell. So when they approached the property manager spoke to those people, but they said, okay, they are going to stop. But they didn't stop, so they moved from producing during the day, and then they started repackaging this pesticide at night. So we sent our inspectors there. So one repackaging you cannot do it in a shopping complex where there are other people and the smell, and this is an acute toxicity product that we are talking about. So this is what is happening. And it all stems from you, the producers, because if you give something to the distributor, you neglect the responsibility of seeing that this is sold to the right people. Okay. And then we need to ensure that the containers are not attractive or they can easily be opened by children. So we're gonna talk about pesticide sale and use. Who of you knows, say someone from Villa, do you know who you sell your products to? Can you sell a pesticide to a medical supplier? It doesn't cure flu. So, yeah, this is what is happening. So, all right, I'll come back to this. So we had this issue recently with the kids who, one child took Ratex from home and took it to school and shared with the others. So they all ate Ratex and they were rushed to hospital. Luckily, nobody died. But how is Ratex labeled? That box can easily be opened, even by a 5-year-old one. They can easily open that. So we need to look at our packaging, especially for products that are used in indoors and households. So this incident is still under investigation. And then we have Aldi Cab. From the taxi ranks, no labeling, no mixing instructions. They just sell it to you and tell you go and mix it with water and then or you just sprinkle it on top of food and then you control the rates. Indoor use, Aldi Cab, South Africa, banned. So this is also under investigation. And you know what happens with the people at the taxi rank? Once our inspectors find them, they sing. They will tell them who sold them this product. They give you the lead to the person who is selling this product because then they are scared. So this is Aldi Cab, taxi rank, no labeling, nothing. A child can just chew that plastic. And then we have chlorpyrifos, unlabeled, in Powerade container at the taxi rank for the control of cockroaches. You know you still have chlorpyrifos at your warehouse, you don't know who it is sold to, you don't want to know how it ends up at the taxi rank because you say it's the responsibility of the distributor. So you don't want to take responsibility. But you are the same people who want to undergo derogation when you don't know how your products are ending up at the taxi rank. So compliance. So if we need to decide on your derogations, we also need to decide on how these pesticides are ending up at taxi rank and how these are sold to medical suppliers and just a random person walking in and buying Mankozeb or buying online. And then we have green leaf. Have you seen this one? Anyway, it's not registered, but we have a lot of it. And if you ask someone about what can I use for cockroaches, they will refer you to green leaf. They will tell you it works But this is imported into South Africa and is sold and is not registered. So the thing is, now we are working with the Border Management Authority and SARS. So you can fool one, but maybe you won't get away with these two. So we are all looking at you and what you are doing. We also have the other one, Sniper. And when I was speaking to the inspector, she was telling me Sniper is imported into Nigeria, then it comes through the Zimbabwean border. So, but we do have the Border Management Authority, and we've given them the mandate to look at the pesticides. So some of them are coming through our national borders. And then advertisement. You know on the regulations that you cannot advertise anything that is not registered. And when you advertise, you cannot promise more profit or more yield. But there's this refill we're selling happily, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and she's telling you for 300 you can buy 10 bottles, and if you sell one for 80, then you make 800. That's good money. You can go and stock and sell. But this is not registered. Look at the container. That's a pesticide that can be opened by a child. And so this matter is also with the police, because they are trying to find out where this dichlorphos came from, because this is dichlorphos that she's using. And then we have this storage with these chemicals and a truck parked there. It's actually 2 vehicles, and they didn't have the hazardous chemical license to store these chemicals. So this storage was closed down by our inspector so that they can do a normal application, store their products properly. Because if you look at the regulation and manufacturing and storage, it says the storage should be orderly and clean. So, okay, that is the end, but I want us to talk about a SARS update that we recently got. So I couldn't put it up here because it's still under investigation. Last year in November, we got an update from DFFE. They were telling us that methoxycline was listed on the Stockholm Convention, and we needed to provide response. So we supported it because, yes, we don't have this product, this active registered in South Africa. So we were like, yes, we support the listing. We don't have this product registered. And then on the 3rd of May, we had a meeting and we were told that this active is being imported into South Africa unregistered. So we have said to the Stockholm Convention, you can ban it, but we are importing it unknowingly. This product is in South Africa. And the recent update from SARS is that South Africa is continuing to import a lot of banned products. So where are these products going? If I ask any one of you in this room, who's importing this? It's a pesticide. Maybe Nolin?
I think we should have the commercial people answering that question. The sales commercial people.
Do we have salespeople here? Okay, we don't. Yeah, so this is what is happening. And if you are not complying, it is a huge issue for us and for you. Sometimes we can't even protect you. Yeah, so compliance cannot be a presentation. It's a topic that is up for discussion. So we need to see how best are we going to ensure compliance from our side, from your side, you and your distributors, because you can't say we don't sell to the end user, we have a distributor. So you and the distributor needs to sit and see how you protect human health and the environment. So we need to agree on the first step. We've taken the first step. We have the regulations in place. We have the pesticide management policy. You've taken one step also, you have the PRO in place, that's for disposal. But what are you going to do about all these sales? If you are a producer of diclofos, what are you going to do to see that diclofos is not sold at taxi ranks? All right, I'm done. Thank you for listening.